Good morning, world changers. It is day 64 of the 100 Days of Self-Discovery Challenge. It's a new week, it's Monday. I hope you've had a fab weekend and you're ready to embrace another week of self-discovery questions. So as you know, each and every day I pose a thought-provoking question. The idea is that you take 10-20 minutes out of your day, you put the question in your journal and you reflect on that and you write your own answers. Now remember, this is a personal development challenge, so it is as the title suggests. This is self-discovery, this is personal development, so it means it is all about you. This is not about what somebody else might think or what somebody else wants to hear from you. This is about learning and discovering who you are, what you're all about, what your core values are, and getting to know yourself better, because when we do that, we start understanding what our real goals, dreams, desires are and what might be holding us back from that. And then we can start looking at the action we can take to start creating the life that we really want to live. And when we do that, we create a ripple effect in the world. When we start thinking better, we make better choices. When we make better choices, we get better results. And that's when our world starts to change. And of course, it changes the world in the process. So each and every day, with your actions, you are changing the world. It's just about the more positive choices that we make, the more empowering choices, creates more obviously positive results. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking to encourage each and every person to take up their own personal development challenge and take ownership of their life. Instead of just reacting to life, it's about creating life, creating the life that you want. So today's question is an interesting one because you can look at it two ways. So the question is, what would be considered enough for you? Now, if we look at this in the positive sense, it's all about creating that fulfillment, that contentment in your life. When you reach a point where it's just like, this is enough, I feel at peace, I feel content, I feel happy, I have created the life that I really want, and this is the place where I really wanted to be. So thinking of that initially, think about what enough would look like for you. What would your life look like if you reached a point of, yeah, this is enough for me, this is great. Think about what would enough, what would give you a feeling of fulfillment and being content. What would your life look like? Think about how you would feel if you reach this place. How would your life improve? What would, again, what would it look like? What would be in it? What would be your career? What would your relationships be like? What would your health be like? What would be making you happy? And then we're talking true happiness here, not the temporary pleasure. We've touched on that early on last week. This is about true, deep, content and being at peace. This is where we feel confident in ourselves, we feel at home in ourselves, there's no anxiety, there's no desire for anything else. It's really just truly being at peace with yourself. Think about the actions you can do today to take you closer to your goal, and what is holding you back so far. What can you do to combat that? So if you identify this place of, let's say, enlightenment, but a place of just true contentment where you just feel at peace with yourself, think about what the actions you can take and why you're not taking them so far. What has been holding you back? Of course, looking at the other side of what you consider to be enough for you is when you've reached your enough point, when something has got so painful and you're just like, I am done with this, no more. And there's two things that will create change for us or make us change, and that's inspiration and desperation. Now sadly, I would love a world where we were surrounded by amazing role models that inspired us, that lifted us up, that motivated us, that empowered us, that showed us exactly how we can make these changes, really people that led by example or are leading by example. That would be amazing to be surrounded by that. Sadly, each and every one of us is dealing with our own journey and our own anxieties and issues, and that's what life's all about. It's all about working through those different areas. So, sadly, usually what causes us to change is desperation. We get to a point of just going, I am done with this, I have had enough. Now, whether that's health challenges, that's your working environment, your relationships, your personal life where there's something not quite right. But this is a good thing. If you're thinking you are there right now, then you need to celebrate that, because when you get to that point, that's when you're motivated. You've got two choices. You can either just stay completely and utterly stagnant in that place and just think think there's no alternative and that accept your lot, but that's not exactly empowering and doesn't sound like much fun. Think about spending the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your life like that, and if that doesn't motivate you to change, then you've not reached your desperation point. But if you are at a point where you're like, I am done with this situation, I've had enough, then great, because that is your springboard for you moving forward to creating momentum, to taking action, to get to a point to start creating the life that you want. Now, I had reached this point. Fortunately, as the time, universe has a funny way of working, and fortunately I was lucky enough to meet a life coach. And when I met that life coach, Alistair, it literally, he helped me to transform my life, and I have transformed every aspect of my life now. I haven't got to my place of, I mean, when it comes to my health, my well-being, my friends, my relationships, I have got to a place where they're all really great. I know there's another level, but I'm really content with those areas of my life. The things that I'm working on now that are not quite at my contentment stage is obviously my business. This is a new challenge for me. But, I've left my day job. I was a radio producer with BBC, which is a fantastic job, and I loved it. But after 18 years, it was time for something new. I wanted to be able to make a difference in the world. I wanted more meaning in my life, more fulfillment, and this is why I set up Change Your World. However, I'm still in the early stages. It's a fresh new business. We're just in the first 2 years, which is probably the most challenging time of anybody that's set up a new business. They will completely be able to relate to this. So I'm still learning, I'm growing. I'm definitely not at my content stage. I've not reached my point where I've done enough, and and I'm still working through that. So where are you at right now? And think about what on the positives of what would be enough for your life, and think about obviously the opposite of that, of going, right, this point is enough and I'm done with it and I'm going to change this. So think about the actions that you can take, implement them as soon as you can, because this self-discovery challenge is fantastic for building self-awareness, but nothing will change if you do not implement action. Action is the answer to changing your life, and it requires you to create momentum. Theory is wonderful, but it means nothing, So I look forward to your reflections and your reviews. Share your comments below, or if you want to join our Change Your World personal development group, it's a group on Facebook. It's completely private, and you can share your comments in there if you feel you don't want to do it as public as we've been doing here. You can share a video like this, you can take a photograph of your journal entry, or you can type it up. There's many ways. And if you're enjoying the self-discovery challenge, please tag somebody in, share it on your social media pages, and just let other people that know that you're doing this, because each and every one of us that goes to work on ourselves means that we reach our true potential. We can reach our true potential, and that starts changing the world. So be a world changer. Well, be a positive world changer. Don't keep this to yourself. Spread the love, and let's create a ripple effect of positivity, and let's change the world through personal development. So, loved you all. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow for day 65. All right, take care. Bye.